Guys, Murdoch Mysteries is really good show, and you should watch it, cause it is really good. And I just found it on Netflix because I was bored as hell. I was bored of watching Infinity War for the 80th time, so I just was looking for shows. I found this, and oh my Jesus Christ, it is amazing. And I want other people to know how amazing it is, because I feel like it doesn't get enough attention, and it deserves all the attention and praise it can get, because it's really goddamn good. So yeah, Murdoch Mysteries is just right there on Netflix. It's right. Go watch it. All right, I'm gonna explain to you why. So I'm just gonna be showing Unity gameplay in the background, because I guess I don't know what else to show in the background. The story was a murder mystery and has murder mystery side missions in it, so why the hell not? So, first of all, this show is a Canadian show, so that's nice. That's a nice touch. It's set in Toronto, set in Canada. Not a lot of shows are set in Canada, take place in Canada. It's cool. And I just need to mention this: the acting. Holy God, the acting is so good. Like, there's so many characters in this, and you usually expect the acting to dip, like they just talk to witnesses and all that, just these one-time people, but their acting is still top tier. It's amazing. I'd even go as far as to say the guy who plays Murdoch is as good an actor as Heath Ledger's Joker from Dark Knight. I'm serious. I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm dead serious when I say that. It's just incredible. But enough about the acting and all that. Let's just talk about just the show. The show at the beginning, Season 1 and Season 2, it doesn't look that great. It doesn't sound that great. The actors really haven't gotten to their roles yet. They're still not great. It's not a great show, but please, if you're just watching this for the first time, you have to stick with the show. Please just push through it. It's not that bad. Just, you have to push through the first 2 seasons, and then season 3 hits, and season 3 to 10 is just really good. Alright? You just have to, don't give up, don't skip episodes, because believe me, if you watch every episode with writing as good as this and character work as good as this, it will be worth it to watch every episode. So please just push through the first and second seasons. They're not that bad, okay? But they're not great. But just, I can't stress enough, don't skip the first part of this show, because season 3 hits and it's just good from there. It goes way up in quality, every aspect of the show. So yeah, just, I can't stress enough, don't skip any episodes. Watch the whole show and push through. Now I'm gonna talk about the characters, and there are quite a few. There are a few main characters, lots of secondary characters, but the main character is Detective William Murdoch of the Toronto Constabulary. Now, Murdoch is just an excellent character. He's just so good. I already talked about the guy's acting. It's incredible. And he's such a tragic character. You have to watch the show. I'm not going to spoil any of the show. You're going to be glad I didn't, if you actually watch the whole thing through. I'm not going to have any spoiler section. None of that. I want who's watching this to watch this show, because I really want it to get the praise it deserves and the love and attention it deserves. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Murdoch. There are 4 key moments in his character that happen throughout the show. I'm not going to say what they are, but you'll be able to tell. And they all go wrong. Nothing can ever go right for this guy, and every time you think something does, no, it just doesn't. And it's not like he deserves bad luck. Murdoch is a smart, great person who deserves all the best, but nothing can ever go right for him, and it's tragic, honestly. It's really sad. The secondary main character would be Dr. Julie Ogden, who is just the city coroner. That's all I can really say without spoiling again, but she is a great character, great actor, great chemistry with other characters, can't really say much. The third main character would be Constable George Crabtree, and he is just really entertaining to watch. This guy, again, great actor, super funny character. He has all these theories whenever they're investigating crimes, like talks about ghosts and vampires, werewolves, voodoo, zombies, mole people, aliens, all that. And he's just really entertaining to watch. Honestly, whenever the show, you feel an episode's getting dull or boring, he comes in, and he's in the show a lot, which is really good, because he is really, really entertaining to watch. And he's probably my favorite out of all the characters. Then we have Inspector Thomas Brackenreed, who's like the boss. But he's not like a stereotypical boss character, like bossing everyone around. He is that, because obviously he's the boss, he's Scottish, he's all tough, he acts all tough. He's just an interesting character, he has a wife, he has kids. He's not that great in the starting seasons, like the first few seasons. Obviously, I talked about the first few 2 seasons already. Everything that's wrong with those gets fixed, and I think Brackenreed's one of the problems with those first 2 seasons. But he really comes into his character the whole rest of the show, like, of course, starting season 3, season 12, he's great. And I can never decide which character is my favorite out of these. These are the main 4. One episode, Murdoch's my favorite, another one, Julia, another one, Crabtree, another one, Brackenreed, because they're all just so great, so well written, so well acted. They're excellent. Then we have 2 more kind of main characters. There is Dr. Emily Grace, who is introduced in season 5, and she leaves eventually, pretty late in the show. So she's not a permanent character, but while she's in the show, she is really good. Not much else to say, she's just good character. Then there's Detective Llewellyn Watts, who is introduced pretty late in the show, and he's a very unique character. You kind of have to watch him act to understand what I mean, but he's very entertaining to watch, just like George, and yeah, he's cool. There's lots of secondary characters, like Terrence Myers, who's an agent for the Canadian government, and whenever he shows up, you just know it's a matter of
national security.
There is James Pendrick, who's just an inventor, and he has actual noticeable development, and he is a side character who's just in selective episodes, and it's really cool how he gets this actual story arc and moments where you can tell he really changes, kind of like Murdoch. There's Anna Fulford, who's not in a lot of episodes, but the episodes she is in, she's really great. There's Constable Henry Higgins, who's George's best friend, and Constable Jackson, and that's like the trio of constables. There's George, Higgins, and Jackson. There's Hodge, who's just kind of behind the scenes. He's a constable, and he works at the front desk in the station house. And there's Margaret Brackenreed, which is the inspector's wife. Darcy Garland, who I can't really say who he is without, again, spoilers. And Rebecca James, who is the assistant coroner, Julia's assistant later in the show. And then we have the villains. There are 4 main villains that are throughout the show, I guess. There's obviously the little villains throughout each episode, which is the murderer, or the robber, or whatever. But the 4 main villains are Chief Constable Giles, which is, I guess he's technically not really a villain, He's just doing his job, but it seems like he always is rooting against the characters. Like sometimes, as a minor spoiler, a main character is accused of murder, and he's always the one on the case, because obviously the friends can't be involved in a case where their friend is an accused murderer, because obviously they wouldn't suspect them guilty at all. So Giles is always just the guy that investigates the main characters, so he's kind of just annoying, and he's a bit of a prick. So yeah, that's Giles. And then there's Chief Constable Davis, which is just like the corrupt cop that has friends in really high places, and he's also in a high place, and the characters really can't do anything about it, or it'll get them fired, lose them their job, send them into jail, frame them for something. So he's just a bad guy. Then there's Eva Pierce, who's in a few episodes, and she really gets into one of the characters' heads, and that's really good. Those are some really good episodes with Eva Pierce. Then there's... Now, this guy is incredible. Again, he's introduced in an episode, and then he's just like showed off as a one-off, like, he's the murderer. And then a few seasons later, he comes back, and then he keeps coming back over and over, and he's messing with the characters' heads and getting in their minds. And then one time I can't really, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, he keeps coming back, alright? And you never know when he's gonna come back. I won't say much more other than he's a great villain. He's kind of a mix of Maxwell Roth from Syndicate, Clone Wars Darth Maul, and Dark Knight Joker. He's kind of a mix of all three of those, and it works really well. So yeah, he's kind of the main antagonist throughout the show, and he's really good. Now I'm just going to mention some of the best episodes, or my favorite episodes, throughout the whole show. And don't skip to these. I'm just naming these so you can get excited when you finally get to them. I promise you, you won't be able to appreciate these episodes without seeing the ones prior. So, this isn't for you to skip to these episodes and watch them. This is just... I just want to share my favorite episodes. So, there's Belly Speaker, Season 1, Episode 9, Werewolves, Season 2, Episode 12, Murdoch Identity, Season 3, Episode 1, Me, Myself, and Murdoch, Season 3, Episode 5, Dead End Street, Season 4, Episode 6, which is really, really good. I feel like that's probably the best one that I've mentioned so far. Murdoch in Wonderland, Season 4, Episode 13, Stroll on the Wild Side, Part 1 and 2, Season 5, Episode 7. Again, you won't be able to appreciate this if you haven't watched the ones prior. Staircase to Heaven, Season 5, Episode 10. Again, really, really good. Murdoch in Toyland, Season 5, Episode 11. Won't be able to appreciate that without watching the ones prior. Crime and Punishment, Season 6, Episode 12. Murdoch Trap, Season 6, Episode 13. Again, won't be able to appreciate it. Midnight Train to Kingston, Season 7, Episode 9. Won't be able to appreciate it. Murdoch Sting, Season 7, Episode 13. Friday the 13th, 1901, Season 7, Episode 14. On the Waterfront, Part 1 and 2, Season 8, Episode 1 and 2. What Lies Buried, Season 8, Episode 7. Season 8, Episode 13, The Incurables, again. Won't understand it, won't appreciate it without seeing the ones prior. Artful Detective, need to see the ones prior. Season 8, Episode 18. Case of the Yips, Season 9, Episode 11. Bloody Hell, Season 9, Episode 15. Cometh the Archer, Season 9, Episode 18. Great Balls of Fire, 1 and 2, Season 10, Episode 1 and 2. The Devil Inside, Season 10, Episode 10. Hell to Pay, Season 10, Episode 18. Up from the Ashes, Season 11, Episode 1. 8 Footsteps, Season 11, Episode 3. The Accident, Season 11, Episode 7. Shadows Are Falling, Season 11, Episode 17. Free Falling, Season 11, Episode 18. Secrets and Lies, Season 12, Episode 9. Sins of the Father, Season 12, Episode 14. Manual for Murder, Season 12, Episode 16. And Darkness Before Dawn, Part 1 and 2, Season 12, Episode 17 and 18. And again, I can't stress enough. Watch the whole show. Please don't skip episodes. A lot of them are stupid. You can have a 12-season show with 45-minute episodes and like 15 episodes each season and have all the episodes be amazing. There are some stupid ones. There's not a lot, but some of them are stupid. But please don't skip them. Please don't, alright? I practically am begging you. I want people to enjoy this show. I don't know, this show feels very personal to me. This show touched me, okay? It did, okay? It's just, I want people to appreciate it as much as I did. So, yeah, don't skip episodes. Just watch the whole show consecutively, please. I want to talk about the show's setting for a little bit now. Obviously, it's set, I said earlier, Toronto, late 1800s, early 1900s, but you can really tell. I know that's doesn't sound like important, but it is. You can tell the way people act, the way people talk, the way people are dressed. They talk in that like fancy English tone, and they say big words like concur. And yeah, you can just really tell it's set. You can tell it's set where it's set, which I think that's important. And there are also some real life characters that are in this show. There's Nikola Tesla, who's in the very first episode. There's Thomas Edison. There's Arthur Conan Doyle, which is the person that wrote Sherlock Holmes. There's Henry Ford. There's whoever wrote Call of the Wild. He was in an episode. There's President Roosevelt. There's all these characters that remind you. They talk about Dracula and Alice in Wonderland and Anne of Green Gables and H.P. Lovecraft and Houdini and all these things that were happening during that time period. They're in the show, which is really cool. It really immerses you in the setting, which is great. So there is one problem I have with the show. It's not a big deal. It's more of a nitpick, but the Christmas specials. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Christmas specials. I think you should watch them, but they're shoved into the ending of not each season, like the later seasons. So in one of the season finales, a character dies, and then the Christmas special shoved in, and the person that died is in the first shot of the Christmas special, and it was just really jarring because they died and then they were right there. So just watch the Christmas specials afterwards, after you're done the rest of the show, because they get in the way of the episodes. There's nothing wrong. The Christmas specials are really good, and I really enjoyed them. They just kind of get in the way of the other episodes. They're kind of jarring when they just come out of nowhere. So, yeah, that's that. The best stretch of this show is probably season 3 to season 10. And there's nothing wrong with 11 and 12. And I already said the problems with season 1 and 2. Just season 11 is a little bit slow. Season 12 picks it way back up again, but it's not all bad. There's still a lot of good ones. But, yeah, I think 3 to 10 is the best stretch, where it's just good episode, good episode, good episode, good episode, good episode, over, and it's amazing. And that's when most of these big character moments happen. So, yeah, 3 to 10, it's probably the best stretch of the show, but still watch season 1 and 2, and 11 and 12. I swear to God, I'll find you if you skip any episodes. Just please don't skip episodes, okay? Seriously, it's not worth it. You'll regret skipping an episode, and you won't even know you regretted it, but you will. So, yeah, season 3 to 10. It's probably the best stretch of the show. The acting is incredible. The characters and the writing are masterful. This show deserves more praise. I've just been watching it during the quarantine, and I just finished it, and I need other people to watch it, because it's really good. It's great. Yeah, so just push through the first 2 seasons. They're not all bad. Like, I'm making them sound way worse than they are. I don't mean that, because obviously I want you to watch the show. They're just not as good as the other ones. Like, that's just what I'm trying to say. They're still not awful. Like, the first episode, you might be thinking, oh, this is dumb. Believe me, it isn't. So, yeah, it's not a stereotypical murder mystery show. It's got interesting, unique characters. It's got interesting, unique plot lines, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just watch it. Don't give up on it. Push through the first couple seasons and watch the show, please. So I'm sorry if this video felt rushed. I made it in like an hour. I just felt like I needed to say this because I just finished the show, and I felt like I needed to get it all out there. So I'd appreciate if you watched it, this show. I really would. I think it needs more attention. And they're making a season 13. There's 12 seasons right now. They're making a 13th, so catch up on it before it comes out this fall, I think. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Goodbye.